Well, that game was kind of a bummer. I guess that's what happens when you give up 20 plus turnovers and get it to the end of the game where it's one possession, which means it's going to be a random ending. When it's that close, it's always some freak play like an 8-second violation, or someone gets a rebound, or the shot just doesn't go in. So the Warriors just let it get random, and then overtime, more randomness, and the Memphis Grizzlies played great defense and they just pulled it out. So I want to talk about things that happened right before the overtime. So let's see if I can get the bad taste of the overtime out of our mouths. Hold on a second. Just look into the bright light. Ah, that's better. So let's talk about the end of regulation. I don't really remember what happened in the overtime. Here Memphis is clinging to a 1-point lead, and they want to pick on Steph Curry with Ja Morant. Ja played a great game. He's such a fun player to watch, and he seems to be cutting down on the wild dunks, which is kind of sad, but also really good because he also has wild dunk landings that just makes me feel like he's going to snap his ankles. So anyway, what a talent that guy is. Here it's the end of the game. Here's Ja. Here's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the shortest guy on the court, so Ja definitely wants to ISO him. The way you typically do it in the NBA is you get the player that Steph is guarding to come over and screen Ja's man, and then he runs off the screen, and then that forces the switch, right? Wrong. The Warriors are going to use this defense that I've called high tag in the past. There was an example of this high tag defense just a couple games ago, so let's review. I'll explain it real briefly here. So when you've got these screens that are meant to force Steph Curry to switch on to someone bigger, that's obviously not something you want to happen. Steph is a hustling defender, but he's just smaller. And so what Steph does is that he says, you want to switch? I'll show you a switch. And he'll just attack whoever is switching. So he'll run ahead and just tag the guy. And then that usually causes the person to pick up their dribble, or it'll trigger whatever the offensive move is when the person gets doubled. So let's see what happens. Okay, there it is. There's the high tag. Steph says, heck, you want to switch on to me? I'm not going to wait for you to get to the end of the screen. I'm going to go right in your face. And the advantage of doing that is that the switch happens way up high, so that he has to fight past Steph if he wants to get closer so that he can shoot over Steph. It prematurely triggers the offense. So let's see if they get away with it. Whoa, Paul George picked up his dribble and he got in the air. That was not good. Luckily, he can release out here. Okay, so then after the danger is passed, you see Steph said, all right, my job is done. I've prematurely defused the bomb. Now I'm just getting the heck out of here before you switch on to me again. And now Andre is covering Paul George. The ball is swinging all the way to the far corner. No advantage now. So high tag defense was first used by the Warriors against the Cavaliers because, of course, LeBron James would love to isolate on Stephen Curry because he's got such a huge size advantage. Here's Steph, here's LeBron. But the Cavs are trying that trick where Steph's man screens, and that means that in theory Steph is going to have to reluctantly switch over to LeBron. But as we've seen, the Warriors have a different approach to this situation. Steph says, call an ambulance, but not for me. He just jumps out right away and tries to force a premature switch way out high. There he is. He just tags LeBron, and he switches back to his man, and LeBron has picked up his dribble, and so look how far away LeBron is from the three-point line. He has to hoist this enormously long shot. Okay, another scene from Christmas 2016. Steph sees that LeBron wants to switch onto him, so he says, I'll switch onto you. And he jumps out and catches LeBron way out here on the logo. Here LeBron tries to outthink it. Steph's man peels off because he's open now, right? And Steph wants to recover all the way to this man. But this is already a victory because now we don't have LeBron isolating on Steph Curry. And let's see if Steph can catch up. They say no man is faster than the ball, which is true. But he does run really far, really fast, and he catches up the defender, and that's diffused the whole advantage. Here the Warriors use it against Harden. You see Steph is jumping out, trying to tag Harden before he can get ISO'd onto him. Harden reacts pretty well. He just attacks Steph as he's doing the high tag. Here's DeMar DeRozan doing the same thing. Steph's man comes up to screen DeRozan's man to try to force Steph to switch, but he says, you switch me, I'll switch you. High tag coming. He jumps out real fast to prematurely switch. There's the tag, and then he's going to escape away to go recover to his man. And now there's no more advantage, there's no more switch. Okay, we're back to this Memphis game, where it's the end of regulation, and I just can't remember what happened in overtime. So Steph's man gets ready to run up and set a screen. Here's the screen. That's going to force Steph to switch over to Ja, right? Where Ja can just take his time and pick Steph apart, right? Wrong. Steph is going to jump out and just attack and try to recover. There he jumps out. He gets right in Ja's face. His man is trying to get out of the way, which is good, but Andre Iguodala is going to turn this from a high tag into just a straight trap. They don't think Ja can beat the trap. Sort of a soft trap, but there's only 7 on the shot clock. This has had the intended effect. Ja has picked up his dribble, and he's not switching on to Steph. Now he's got to try to find an open man and make something happen with the shot clock winding down. This is a pretty together play. He does this zigzag, where he throws it to the side, and then this man hits the cutter. That's a good play. Good rotation from Andrew Wiggins. Shot clock is down to 5. It's really running down. He just tries to force it through Wiggins, and he does. So that was a big play. And Memphis went up 3. It's starting to look bad for the Warriors. They counterattack fast. Draymond sets a quick drag screen for Steph. Steph rejects the screen. He goes away from the screen, and now he's past his man. That forces the Memphis defense to collapse. Ja steps in off of his man. This man is rotating way off of the weak corner to stop Stephen Curry's drive. This guy's just joining the party because, hey, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So Steph with a nice soft touch on this pass. Damian Lee was huge down the stretch. He kept the Warriors in the game, and this was just another example of it. Big 3 to tie. So that high tag was enough to discourage Memphis from just trying to get a switch on to Steph Curry for a few plays. But now it's 47 seconds left, tie game. So they're going to try to do the same thing. Steph Curry's man comes up to set a screen to try to force Steph to switch on to Ja. Alright, what do you think is going to happen now? Here's the screen. Ja's ready to get the mismatch and go fast. This is the perfect time to do high tag because the shot clock is 6 seconds now. There's not a lot of time if he can catch Ja early. So it's going to be a high tag where he's going to jump out and try to trigger the switch early. There he goes. And now Ja has Steph on a switch, but the guy's almost at half court. He's so far away. Even for Ja, this would be a long shot. You just got to set up this step back from 5 feet behind the line. He did hit a long 3 earlier, but, you can't take away everything with NBA defense. Steph watches. You can see his body language watching this shot go. He's like, this is in the hands of God now. And just misses. But look at this scramble. Memphis played really hard, very impressive on a back-to-back. In this giant scramble, they somehow come away, kind of a lucky bounce, but also huge amounts of hustle. They come away with this massive offensive rebound. If the Warriors had gotten the ball back, who knows what would have happened in the game. Instead, Memphis gets another shot. Now Ja actually does have Steph on the matchup. 12 on the shot clock because of the relatively new rule. Just a couple years ago, they changed it so that when you get a offensive rebound, the shot clock goes to 14. So let's see what Ja can do. Steph with the clap saying, I'm ready for this. Memphis just goes 5 out on the arc to make it hard for help to come. Steph does not a bad job. He stayed with Ja through the crossover. Andre digging in on the drive to harass Ja. Draymond is playing goalie in the back here. He's rotating to deter Ja from going all the way to the basket. And so now Steph can dig at the ball. This guy's open in the corner because that's Draymond's man who rotated in, and so at the very last second, it looks like he's going to try to make one of his beautiful floaters, but he kind of gets this crazy angle pass out to the corner. I think it's just deflected by Draymond, and it goes off to the side. The guy hoists up a wild shot with 3 on the shot clock. Draymond blocks it. It's all looking good. Another scramble. 50-50 ball. It just goes straight to this man. That's a pretty lucky bounce. And he's going to get one more shot at it. That's a pretty tough shot in a lot of traffic. And it misses. And, you know, my memory's a little fuzzy, so you're going to have to get someone else to analyze the rest of the game. But good effort on the Warriors' part to try to salvage that game. They blew a huge lead, and they're definitely going to go into the locker room and really regret all of those unnecessary turnovers they had during the game. And then, time for the next game. So maybe I'll see you in the next game. Bye, everybody.